Shout out to Alina. Welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Lola. Shout out to Taraya. Shout out to Alina. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Julie L. Shout out to Ari. Thank you, Lola, for subscribing. Shout out to Jessie. Shout out to Jayla. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. Shout out to Kamoya. Welcome. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Diana. Thank you. Shout out to Jessie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Emery. Shout out to Leanna. Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Luann. Whoops, I messed up. Or Luan, sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Dorothy. Shout out to Emery, I got you. Shout out to Hazel. Shout out to, write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Satvik. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Dorothy. Shout out to Simran. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Avery Farless. Shout out to Marash. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Donzel. Thank you for subscribing. Or Donzel. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Emma, I got you. Shout out to Zelanique. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kaya. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to Luna. Hello everyone, welcome. Shout out to Levi Farless. Shout out to Justice. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Lulu. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Idanaya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Anaya. Shout out to Malia. Shout out to Briley. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Samuel. Shout out to Renata. Shout out to Briley, I got you. Shout out to Mari. Or Mary, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Jenna. Shout out to Valen. Shout out to Abigail. Shout out to Lonnie. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to April. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Brayden. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Yaretsa. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Adriana. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Ellen. Shout out to Aileen. Or Alan, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mango. Shout out to Arisha. Shout out to Amari. Shout out to Aaliyah. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Char, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sienna. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kiana. Shout out to Alberto. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Rai. Shout out to Amani. Shout out to Tracy Lee. Shout out to Ibuki. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Berkeley. Shout out to Jules. Shout out to Anaya. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Alexia. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Jury. Shout out to Jax. Shout out to Levi. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Charlene. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Lavanti. Shout out to Addie Lucas. Shout out to Melania. Shout out to Easton. Shout out to Sailor. Shout out to Scott Messier. Shout out to Jess. Shout out to Oliver. Shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Peggy. Shout out to Ariella. Shout out to Lorraine. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Fatima. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I live stream every day. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out and like or subscribe or both. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Emanuele. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Talia. Shout out to Amy. Shout out to Faithy. Happy birthday, Faithy. Shout out to Ivy. Shout out to what is it? Sheehan? Or Cheyenne? Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Aranza. Shout out to Clean. Shout out to Caitlin. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to Javier. Shout out to Samuel. Shout out to Yadira. Shout out to Hutchings or Hutchins. Shout out to Raylan. Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Shakia or Shakaya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Addie Lucas. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Sadie. Shout out to Jalik. Shout out to Christy. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Arum. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Aitana. Shout out to Julietta. Shout out to Liz. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Rain. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Emma. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Augusto. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Elliot. Shout out to Maxine. Shout out to Jasmine. Excuse me. Shout out to Maria. Shout out to her. Shout out to Mariah. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Katrina. Shout out to Hazel. Shout out to Elena. Thank you, the Roblox Queen. Shout out to Adeline. Yes, shout out to Isada. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Excuse me. Shout out to Aziz. Thank you. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kara. Shout out to, thank you, JC. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Paris. Shout out to Miranda. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Dante. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Ada or Ada. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Day. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Khalif. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. I got you, Aria. Shout out to Danielle. Shout out to Yunche. Shout out to Soha. Shout out to Georgie. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Melina. Shout out to Ariana. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Raylene. Thank you for showing me how to pronounce your name. Shout out to Nyla. Shout out to Journey. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Yana. Shout out to Bree. Shout out to Mobina. Shout out to Satvik. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Rumi. Shout out to Mary Henley. Whoops, Henley. Shout out to Cece. Oops. I messed up. It looks like it's 3 C's. Shout out to Cece. There we go. Shout out to William. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Somaya. Shout out to Valencia. Thank you for showing me how to write your name, how to pronounce your name. Shout out to Leo. Shout out to Hyeon. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Hyeon. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Jacqueline. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Austin. Shout out to Lakeland. Shout out to Iris. Shout out to Helena. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Garrett. Happy birthday. Shout out to Nathaniel. Shout out to Morgan. Shout out to these people. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day. I will also live stream again in a couple of hours, maybe in like 3 or 4 hours. So I hope to see you again. Please check out my channel. I would truly appreciate it. I do cute stuff like this. So I hope you can leave a like. It would help me out so much. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Take care, everyone. I will see you all in the next live. Bye.